This much. You will never be enough.
It's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh, God. She can't know I was ever here.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this.
Ever since I can remember, my family has been my whole life. Rachel! Rachel!
If Nick chose me, he would lose his family. And if he chose his family, he might spend the rest of his life resenting you.
You nasty. You got nastier.
So, Crazy Rich Asians is directed by Don M. Chow and stars Constance Wu, Henry Goggling, Awkwafina, and Michelle Yeoh, and this movie is also based on a best-selling book. And what this movie is about is this girl named Rachel. She has a boyfriend played by Henry Goggling. They've been dating over a year then, until her boyfriend has got invited to his best friend's wedding at Singapore. So he decides to take Rachel along to meet his family, until Rachel finds out that he is rich. Not just rich, he is super duper rich, insanely rich. And she has to figure out how to fit in that situation. Now, first of all, I have two different opinions on my anticipation with this film. First, I was a bit interested in this film because this is the first Hollywood film in a very long time that has a full-on Asian cast. And I thought that is amazing. And second of all, this movie is directed by Don M. Chow, which makes me a bit more skeptical about this film. Let's talk about his filmography. Okay, let's talk about the films that he's done. Now You See Me Too, G.I. Joe Retaliation, the Step Up movies, Justin Bieber's Never Say Never, and Gem and the Holograms. Yes, what I'm saying right there, he's not a good director. And he hasn't made a great film at all. So, yeah, I was a bit skeptical with this film, but also kind of interested at the same time. It's kind of like a weird feeling for me. Like, I never felt like that. But I still went and see this movie. I went to watch this movie last weekend. It's a little bit of a 2-day late review, but that's fine with me. And I'm really surprised by this movie. Guys, this is a really good film. And this is really surprising because this director has made a lot of bad films. And finally, he has made a good ass movie. And also, this movie is probably one of the better romantic comedies out there. I'm not even a fan of romantic comedies. I like a couple of the romantic comedy films, like The Wedding Singer, but films like this is what should be what romantic comedies are like, you know what I mean? Like, most romantic comedies that I've seen is all cliche, all the wedding and all that stuff, and like a guy comes to the wedding and is like, I love you, don't date this douchebag and all that stuff. Like, it just, you get sick of it once in a while. I like that this movie is different. It's not like about a girl that meets a guy and that had to get married and all that stuff. This film took more of a better and different story. And I really like that in this film. This film is completely different to any other romantic comedies out there. It does have cliches, which I'll explain the flaws, but let's talk about the positives of this film. First, the look of this movie. This film is shot place in Singapore, and I really loved the look of this movie. I thought the movie looked fantastic. They shot in really good locations, I'll give that. There's one scene, there's like a beach scene, and I'll say, it just looks amazing. It looks great. Also, let's talk about the cast in this movie. My god, they were fantastic. Constance Wu as Rachel in the film was the character I mostly rooted for this whole film. She's not just the typical girlfriend of a boyfriend, you know what I mean, in any other romantic comedy films. She also has some toughness in her, which I'm really surprised by that. And her acting, she did a really good job. I wanted to see her in more films. Like, I know she has been in a couple of TV shows, but I never heard of her, and this is kind of like a breakthrough for me. And I think she did a really great job in this film. And I love the chemistry between her and Henry Goggling. And that really surprises me, because usually romantic couples in movies, most of the time they don't feel as relatable. But they really do feel relatable to any other couples out there. Like, it's awesome. It's really cool to see, and it's very, comfortable to see, you know what I mean? Like, you just relax and be like, okay, they're a great couple to watch. And we can't get a romantic comedy without the comedy. And I think the person who stole the comedy is Awkwafina. Oh my god, she's hilarious in this film. She plays Rachel's best friend. My god, I never laughed so hard in romantic comedy after this movie. She was so freaking hilarious in this film. And she's probably one of the better supporting characters in romantic comedy films. I think she stole the entire comedy, in my personal opinion. Also, let's talk about Michelle Yeoh as the boyfriend's mother. She was amazing. If she didn't get an award for Best Supporting Actress, I would be a bit pissed about it because she did so amazingly well. She's not just a typical mother that we've seen in other romantic comedy movies like Monster-in-Law, for example. There are some parts in this film that you felt like, okay, I get why she's doing that, and it felt very realistic to me. Also, the story in this movie was very interesting, and I love the whole story going through this movie most of the time, which I'm going to give details on the flaws on the movie, but the story was really great, and also the score was really great as well. There are some American songs that took over by Asians, and you know what? They're very catchy. But I'm going to say, there are a couple of flaws with this movie. This movie is not the best movie of the year, but I would say it's the most surprising movie of the year. First of all, there are some scenes in this movie that they should have cut off. There's like 20 minutes of the film that did rip off the story. Like, it just took away from the story and it took to another subject. And I just think to myself, they should have cut it out. It has nothing to do with the story at all. And yes, this film is a bit cliche in some moments. There are some parts of the movie that I felt like we've seen in many movies before, especially the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie is way too cheesy, way too corny. And I know it's setting up a sequel because it's based on other 3 books as well, but it is a bit cliche at the end of the movie, and also in some romantic parts of this movie. But guys, overall, I really enjoyed Crazy Rich Asians. This movie totally surprised me. I think this is one of the better romantic comedy movies out there. I recommend everyone to see this film, not just Asian people. Of course, everyone should see this film. This film is very relatable to its source material and the audience, and this movie is a pretty sweet romantic time. And this film is very comfortable to watch. Like, literally, this film is kind of like a breath of fresh air, and I know it sounds very cheesy, but that's how I felt. Right in my seats, I'm just like, you know what, this is a very sweet and touching movie. It does have some emotional parts of the film that I did not expect, and they handle it really well. So guys, go watch Crazy Rich Asians. I think you'll have a fun time with it, because I'm going to give Crazy Rich Asians an A-. So guys, let me know down below if you have seen Crazy Rich Asians. Do you like the movie or hate the movie? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook and Stardust. Keep contact with me and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And have a nice day.
Glorious, glorious.